It's a conference clash in the Hill City as the Lynchburg Hornets play host to the Cougars of Averett University. Hello and welcome into Schellenberger Field on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. I'm Joe Brennan here on behalf of LHSN and Flo College. In what should be a fun matchup today, Lynchburg looking to continue the momentum they've seen this season, unbeaten through their first 9 contests. And just looking at how the Hornets have performed on paper so far this season, the numbers really stand out. This is a Hornet team that's been top 25 in both offense and defensive goals this season, averaging just a tick under 3 a game while holding their opponents to just about half a goal a contest with 5 shutouts so far this season. The shots also something that really glares at you, just under 19. Meanwhile, Averett's offense still trying to find their rhythm as this season moves along. They have not scored a goal since September 14th, but they've got a great man between the pipes that really leads that charge for the Cougars. One of the premier keepers in the conference, Averett, has really been able to stay alive with Lopez between the pipes. Just under 6 saves a match and an 86.5 save percentage so far this season. Both of those categories, he finds himself as the leader. But this isn't just an Averett team that has a solid defense. Lynchburg as well, as we talked about, just about 0.5 goals allowed per game. A big reason why you've got 2 crucial centerpieces with Benji Velasquez and Will Casey. Will Casey, the 2024 ODAC Rookie of the Year and the reigning conference Defensive Player of the Week, has been a crucial piece, and he's starting to find his way in the offense as well. Lynchburg starting to move that back line up more and more as this season goes along, and Will Casey, no exception whatsoever. 3 goals so far this season. A guy that just had 2 a season ago, matched that total against Franklin and Marshall in a contest a week ago in Harrisonburg at Horizons Edge Sports Complex. And with that, this stage is really set for what should be a thrilling matchup today. But Lynchburg's production on offense, it's been a handful of different players that have found the back of the net. Evan Pask, Will Casey, Carlos Andres Romero, and Chris Bovo, all with 3 or more goals this season. And last game, it was Isaac Cruz, another big-time freshman that has made an invaluable impact on this Lynchburg offense. Scored a pair. Both were his first collegiate goals in Lynchburg's most recent victory here on Schellenberger Field. He took the place of Carlos Andres Romero, who's been sidelined the last couple of games. And with that, let's take a look at the starting lineups today. First, for the Lynchburg Hornets. Between the pipes for Lynchburg, it'll be Thomas Viscuso with Isaac Torres, Will Casey, Benji Velasquez, and Reed Rouse in that back line. Napier and Viscuso hold down the middle of the field, while Wiley, Bovo, Pask, and Cruz look to spearhead the Lynchburg offensive attack today. Now with that, let's take a look at the Cougars starting lineup today. Lopez, the man we highlighted early on, in between the pipes. Then it's Gutierrez, Alvarez, Del Rio, Sierra, and Leslie in the back line. Garcia, Guffini, Morales in the middle, and Bradley, Aron, and Blanks in the front line for the Averett Cougars. Averett looking to play spoiler today and upset Lynchburg at home. Their last win came back on September 10th against Greensboro. Their other victory was their season opener against Shaw University at home. It's a team that's 0-1 in conference, just their second conference clash this season. They did play Randolph-Macon and Hampton-Sydney, but only one of those was considered a conference affair. We'll step aside momentarily. Opening kickoff coming up here in a couple moments in the Hill City. We'll be right back on Flo College.
Number 16, Patrick Lacey. In midfield, number 21, Hugo Morelos. At forward, number 27, Ignacio Aaron. At forward, number 29, Gavin Blanks. And in goal for the Cougars, number 1, Anibal Lopez. Head coach for the Cougars is Philip Wilson. Assistant coach is John Thomas Buckley. Meet today's starting lineup for your Lynchburg Hornets. On defense, the sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, number 2, Isaac Torres. On defense, the sophomore from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, number 4, Will Casey. On defense, a senior from Dale City, Virginia, number 5, Benji Velasquez. In midfield, a senior from Lynchburg, Virginia, number 10, Keaton Napier. At forward, a junior from Forest, Virginia, number 16, Chris Wiley. At forward, a junior from Turin, Italy, number 17, Chris Bobo. At forward, a sophomore from Kernersville, North Carolina, number 18, Evan Pass. In the midfield, a freshman from Manassas, Virginia, number 30, Matthew Viscuso. In the midfield, a freshman from Harrisonburg, Virginia, number 31, Isaac Cruz. On defense, a senior from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 32, Reed Rouse. And in goal for the Hornets, a senior from Manassas, Virginia, number 1, Thomas Viscuso. Head coach of the Hornets is Chris Yeager. Associate head coach is Josh Hinkle, and assistant coaches are Michael Relaford, Scott Zaring, and Kenny Robles. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
And we welcome you back in to Schellenberger Field, moments away from the opening kickoff. Hornets playing host to the Cougars in a conference clash. Lynchburg's been red hot so far this season. 7-0-2 coming into today's contest. They've really started to find their rhythm, especially on the offensive end. It's a Hornet squad. If you look at the national rankings, they rank 23rd in scoring offense and 13th in shots per game. We showed you in the opening intro, they're shooting about 19 shots per game, and 9 of them, just at half, have been on target this season. With that, that's helped them be top 15 in the country for goal differential, right now sitting at plus 20. Right now is not the time you want to be playing the Hornets. They're 3-0, unblemished here at home. They've outscored their opponents at home 13-0. Lynchburg still yet to give up a goal on Shelley this season. And you got an Averett team that's really trying to put things together on the offensive end. This is a squad that certainly leans a little bit more so on that younger side. Nevertheless, they have plenty of talent all over the field. Should be a good one here today. We appreciate you spending your Saturday afternoon with us here in the Hill City. Averett, a team that was for a long time a member of the USA South, made the transition over to the ODAC just under 5 years ago. With that, it's really been a small sample size between these two teams. They've met 5 times, dating all the way back to 2006. Lynchburg with an unblemished record of 5-0 over the Cougars during that span. And Lynchburg has outscored Averett 13-1 in those 5 contests through their program history. Last time these two teams faced off was last season in Danville. It was a 2-0 victory for the Hornets. 2 scorers and every point scorer, whether it was a goal or an assist for Lynchburg, departed. That's been a big storyline this season when you lose guys like Monzi and Pat Figueroa and Kenny Robles and Zach Whelan, who were all the point scorers a year ago in that Averett contest, depart. But it's so hard not to highlight the transition that this Lynchburg team has made so seamlessly on the offensive end. And it seems like any given day they're riding the hot hand. You've had multiple contests this season with guys recording double-digit goals. You had Bovo with a hat trick. Andres Romero had a hat trick as well earlier on this season. Casey had 2 goals against Franklin and Marshall, which we highlighted in the open. And, of course, it was Isaac Cruz in the most recent affair notching 2 goals of his own. Cruz, just the second time he's started this season here today. He's a young player, but a talented player nonetheless. This is a Lynchburg squad that has a beautiful combination of both young and veteran talent. That veteran side mainly on the back end. As we've talked about a whole lot this year, everyone returning from a season ago. It's Napier to the far side of the field for Bovo. His pass for Viscuso knocked away, and it'll be played back to the keeper, who just shoots one downfield. Not a whole lot of juice behind it. Rouse gets it with good positioning. Quick little passing. Pask dumps it off right inside the box, and it's scooped up by the keeper in Lopez. Hannibal Lopez, the senior keeper out of Vigo, Spain. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You do have a really great international representation on this Averett Cougars squad. They've got one from Argentina and then a handful coming from Spain, and they go as far as Norway Carlos Soli. Lynchburg squad as well that's well represented all across the globe. Down the near sideline. Kick back for Rouse. Not a whole lot of pressure provided from the Cougars. And a Lynchburg turnover. Ball just sailed out of bounds off the foot of the defender. It's been a busy day here on campus so far. We had equestrian kick things off in the morning with the IHHA Senior Day, and women's volleyball on campus had their Senior Day festivities. 10 seniors on that squad. Whole lot of flowers in the building. Nevertheless, action all across the ODAC as we're in full swing of the fall season. Conference plays starting to heat up. And this is when you really start to see everybody's identity. You've kind of figured out at this point who you're going to be, or who you are now at least. Lynchburg still with one more non-conference game this season that'll be played back in Harrisonburg once again at the Horizons Edge Sports Complex. Next one will be against Messiah on Wednesday, October 8th. Then you come back home, or pardon me, then you go back to conference play for a road match against Hampton-Sydney, and then you turn right back around and you got Virginia Wesleyan the following week. Virginia Wesleyan, a team in the ODAC that has quickly risen to the top after years of it really just being Hampton-Sydney and, or pardon me, Washington and Lee and Lynchburg seemingly every year in the championship. Now you've got a Hampton-Sydney and a Virginia Wesleyan squad that are fighting for that top spot. Virginia Wesleyan coming off a big-time upset against Christopher Newport. That was a top 25 ranked matchup. You had Virginia Wesleyan slotted at 20th. And it was the 5th-ranked Captains that dropped the affair 3-1. Lynchburg spins it around near side for Viscuso. Looking to go to the middle of the field for Cruz. This one's knocked away. And the Cougars repossess. Bradley plays it back. It's sent to the keeper in Lopez. Tracked down by Wiley, but gets it away in time. Morales can't get the handle. Pask with it now. Quick header over for Cruz. And Alvarez Del Rio gives it back to the keeper. Pask with the left foot. The cross. Trying to find Bovo with the header. Lopez sniffs it out and corrals. Such an interesting spot to be in at this point of the season if you're the Averett Cougars. Obviously, we talked about the disparity between their offensive and defensive production. They rank 383rd in the nation for scoring offense. But on the flip side of things, their defense has been spectacular. Now, a big reason why is the man between the pipes ranks 28th in the nation for saves per game. He has been a crucial piece in their wins and ties this season. Ball still yet to cross Lynchburg's half of the field. This is a Lynchburg front line that loves to apply pressure and try and force you to make mistakes to keep it on their half. Benji Velasquez, we talked about that back line playing up. Now you'll see him attack the box. Pask looking for the cross, skies it over the head of Bovo. It'll roll out of play deep in Cougar territory. It is wild to see the Spanish representation on this Averett team as Cruz sends a low ball into the foot of Del Rio. You've got 7 Spaniards on this Averett squad. A little bit Argentina, a little bit of Norway, but I mean, it is very rare that you're going to see a team in the ODAC that's got more representation from Spain than they do Virginia. Nevertheless, the pipeline from Madrid to Danville seems strong. Rouse near side. No pressure being applied whatsoever. Lynchburg being able to patiently move it around with ease. Rouse wants to give it a go. Knocked away, and we'll have our first corner kick of the day. Corner kick will be taken by Cruz. This is his specialty. Cruz goes far side pipe looking for Casey. Off the noggin, but couldn't hit the nail on the head. No pun intended. Lopez will reset. Last time we saw him just with a slow roller. Pump fakes. Now he's going to send everybody down. Oh, once again, just a slow roller near side. Aaron pass finds the foot of Rouse just outside the 18. Rouse with a quick pass. It's Cruz dancing down the end line. The centering feed is knocked away, and the clearance by the Cougars to get it out of trouble. Corralled by Banks. Now he'll build it from the back with Gutierrez. And for the first time today, we see the ball on Lynchburg's side of the field. And a rather quick stint that was. Torres back over for Napier right at the Lynchburg lettering. Redirects near side for Rouse. Reed Rouse this past week participated in the Lynchburg Athletics Spelling Bee as Viscuso sends a long ball outside the 18. That's tipped away by Lopez, and the Hornets will have a throw-in from Velasquez. Rouse participated in that spelling bee. He was kind of a fan favorite headed into it. Staff nominated him to participate, being a pretty bright guy, a guy that's really involved with the business club around campus and took a handful of classes at the University of Georgetown during his Lynchburg tenure. But he was telling us before, he said, I took classes up with the Hoyas for math. It wasn't for reading and spelling. I'm certainly not a language arts guy. And that proved to be true. He did not come away with the championship, but made it to the final round. It was women's golf Lily's Rowe that came away with the crown. I said crown, she won a Lynchburg hat. If you want to see that full video, make sure you follow Lynchburg on social media. Lynchburg Sports on Instagram and X. Lynchburg Athletics on Facebook. And LHSN on YouTube. Just a little shameless plug right there for the Hornets. Velasquez swings near side for Casey. Once again, no pressure being applied. Long ball downfield for Bovo, trying to find him in stride. A brilliant touch, but not enough. Had it momentarily, then couldn't keep it in the breadbasket. Trickles away. Once again, we see it deep in Averett territory. Lynchburg has created a lot of chaos on this half of the field keeping it over. Viscuso with a nice poke. Pass, trying to lay it out in front for himself. Now a foot race won by the redshirt junior. And a throw-in awarded for Reed Rouse and company. They also most likely look for a deep toss that can ricochet off the head. Winds and fires, looking for Keaton Napier, streaking towards the near side pipe, but it's Lopez that beats him to the spot, climbs the ladder, brings it in. Gafuni tries to play it forward for Quintilia. Or no, pardon me, that was Aaron. Lopez, chip shot towards midfield, off the head of Napier. Redirected by Bovo. Ball still ping-ponging around. Back-to-back beautiful tackles. All gets cleared all the way down for Viscuso. Far side, Torres. Patient Lynchburg offense. No need to really push the tempo. Cruz. Battling, Cruz with his left. Cruz! His third goal in 2 games. Isaac Cruz. Book it. It was fighting for positioning, then just caught the keeper Lopez out of position. We were talking about it in Franklin Marshall. It's a guy that has shown so much promise during his short tenure with Lynchburg. Doesn't have a whole lot of size, but he's a crafty, athletic, quick forward. And he is certainly starting to get his feet sturdy underneath him. Once that foundation is fully solidified, this guy is going to be trouble for the rest of the ODAC for the next 3.5 years. Lynchburg leads 1-0. You see the handle right there from Cruz. Sometimes he makes it look like he's got that ball on a string. Dished over for Casey. He'll give it right back to Velasquez. Just standing over top of it. Quick feed for Napier. Shoots it over for Bovo. Cutting towards the middle. He was trying to send a through ball to Pask. Tapped away by Alvarez Del Rio. Now here comes Reed Rouse down the end line. The centering cross. Tipped away. Right back over for Napier, who lets a missile go. And that one will bounce off the scoreboard. You know, you always talk about wanting to put the ball on the scoreboard, but not quite literally. Taken away from Pask, stops on a dime, cuts to his right. Now the low pass in the inside, and Wiley puts it through. back-to-back goals in a minute 15. The Hornets are buzzing. Chris Wiley with his third goal this season. You now have 6 Hornets this year with 3 or more goals. I've added 2 names to that list today already. We're only 16 and some change through the first. You've got the sense that this one could get ugly in a hurry. Averett's got to find a way to gain possession and advance it into the box. It took them about 10 minutes to get it on Lynchburg's half of the field. Ever since then, Lynchburg responded in a big way. Start to wonder how they respond once Averett gets the first shot off of the deck. The Lynchburg defense has been stellar, and not just in the goal column. The shot category has been just as, if not more, dominant than anything else we've seen this year. Lynchburg is coming off a game against Randolph, which they won 3-0, while allowing just 2 shots. Or pardon me, 1 shot. It was the lowest mark they've given up this season. They had held opponents to 2 shots in 4 affairs this season. And in all those 2-shot affairs, it was 1 or 0 that were on target. Other than that, Lynchburg gave up 7 shots to Franklin and Marshall, 10 to St. Mary's, 11 to Salisbury, and 14 to Randolph-Macon. Wiley, another cross, tipped away by Lopez. This one's sky high down the near sideline that rolls out of play. And even in that Randolph-Macon game where you give up a season-high 14 shots, only 2 of them were on goal, and 1 of those was off a penalty kick. Only 3 times this season has Viscuso seen 4 or more shots on goal. Meanwhile, you've got an Averett keeper that's averaging 6 saves a game. Ball still free in the box. Viscuso winds and fires, but it's far left. Had the right speed, had the right height, just didn't have the right spot. That's another talented freshman for this Lynchburg squad. Lopez will send it deep. You start to see that back line finally move up. You had 3 bodies spread across that back line, not including the keeper, the last couple of goal kicks that they would just send along the end line. It seems like Coach Wilson started to realize that might not be the best answer to this Lynchburg pressure. This is a Lynchburg team that can adapt pretty well. They're not going to give you the same look as they did the game before in any way, shape, or form. Doesn't matter if you're talking about offensive pressure, defensive pressure, alignment. Coach Yeager and company really like to mix things up, and sometimes you see something on the scouting report coming into the game and think, hey, this is how we attack this team. This is something small that could help us maybe in transition or help with our set pieces, et cetera, et cetera. And oftentimes, more than not, Yeager's got something up his sleeve. Guffini, downfield and out of bounds. That set piece doesn't come to fruition. Viscuso just with a quick feed right off the boot. Didn't even think about it. Just gave it right to Velasquez. Nice ball for Napier. 2 touches and kicks over for Rouse. Far side Torres. He's got a whole lot of real estate. Lynchburg just going back and forth from sideline to sideline, and that's really what's creating this space, stretching out the Averett defense. Centering feed for Cruz is knocked away by Alvarez Del Rio. Saying his name a whole lot today. Him and Daniel Sierra, two stellar backs for this Averett defense. A pair of Spaniards. Last time Rouse had the throw in, he was looking for a streaking Keaton Napier. This time the senior goes near side pipe and right into the chest of Lopez. Walked up by Alvarez Del Rio. Blanks plays it back for Bradley. Off the head of Bovo. Oh, Wiley with a chance gets mauled. Are we going to see a card? No. No malicious intent, but a penalty nonetheless. So it will be a PK for Wiley. We'll take another look at it. Seems like an easy call for our officiating crew today. Chris Wiley slots it through. The second PK that Lynchburg has converted on this year in as many opportunities. The first one was taken by Aiden Cass earlier on this season. Cass sidelined for an indefinite amount of time. Nevertheless, it's Chris Wiley with the goal this time around for the Hornets. Wiley with a pair today. We've been talking about how Lynchburg likes to ride the hot hand, and how we continue to see guys this season notch multi-goal performances. And it'll be the case once again, and Lynchburg's explosive offense continues to add to its total as their season average is only going to go up from here. Coming in, averaging just about 2.8 goals per game, top 25 in the nation. That number will continue to climb. Already above that mark today, and Lynchburg showing no signs of slowing down. Wiley is down, able to get back onto his own feet. Gives himself a round of applause. Seems as though we're going to have a host of substitutions ready to check in for the Hornets. Oh, and a yellow card is going to be given out. So that'll go against the back in Daniel Sierra. And with that, Sierra will head to the sideline. In his place, Will Davis. Everybody will trot forward. Benji Velasquez will get us back into play. A reverse for Rouse. That reversal open every time so far today, and that has really helped Lynchburg move forward on these offensive possessions, but a miscommunication between Rouse and Pask, as Pask Hits on his chest over to Rouse and says, my bad. Off the head of Pask, over for Cruz. Now he charges in after the deflection. And it seems like Morales maybe got a twisted ankle there. Gingerly walking on it. This is a thin Averett sideline today. You've only got 3 guys with cleats laced up ready to hop in. Or no, pardon me, rather. We've got 4 more down on the far corner getting loose and ready to check in. But still, I mean, that's a pretty thin bench. Only having 6 guys. You can see there's the host of Cougars getting ready to sub in. For now, you feel like you still got fresh legs, certainly on the offensive end. Entry feed into the box. Knocked away by Keaton Napier. How about the jump right there from Reed Rouse and then takes possession? I mean, Reed Rouse, you know, he's not the flashiest defender. He's not going to win all the player of the weeks that you're going to see guys like Casey and Velasquez bring in. But Reed Rouse, he's a guy that we quickly fell in love with last season, just as the definition of a hustle guy. I mean, he's a glue guy that does the right things. A real veteran leader for this Lynchburg squad as well. DiLorenzo, Fisher Daniel, and Saul Lopez Correas all come in for the Hornets. Pask, Bovo, and Cruz. Also Carlos Andres Romero. So 4 substitutions for Lynchburg. We mentioned that Andres Romero hadn't played in the last game. We assumed it was due to injury and not in the starting lineup. So maybe it's a minutes restriction, or maybe you saw Isaac Cruz net 2 last game and you said, you know what, we're going to continue to ride the hot hand. And that worked pretty well through the first 20 minutes as Cruz notched his 3rd goal this season, all of which have come in the last 2. Laid out in front, DiLorenzo. Sean DiLorenzo with a left foot. DiLorenzo! Just barely. Too far right. Under 20 minutes to go here in the opening half. 8 shots on goal so far for Lynchburg, 3 of which have gone through. Once again, they want to put it in the feet of their backs and try and have them push it forward. Near side, Bradley. Down low for Guffini. Being harassed by Andres Romero. Oh, my goodness. Talk about harassed. Fisher Daniel plays it back. Lopez Correas unloads. Ricocheted away after the save by Lopez. And the Cougars, Bradley is still down after taking a physical piece of contact from Andres Romero. It really seemed like there should have been some sort of whistle there, but the official saw something different. The official tried to make sure that he was okay, and it seemed like Bradley wanted nothing to do with the official. He seems frustrated that he didn't get that call, and I understand the frustration, but that's not the official that's making the call. Nevertheless, Reed Rouse with the throw-in, deep in Averett territory. The senior back plays it over to Casey. Flipped over for Velasquez. Keaton Napier carving his way inside. Andres Romero off 2 bounces. Napier splits 2. Back out for Rouse. Wants to attack the middle. Lopez Correas gets tangled up. Fights through contact. keeping it in play. Tried to go 5-hole between the Cougar defender. Now a ball out for Bradley. Pardon me, that was Blanks. Velasquez. Beautiful ball. Even better touch. Di Lorenzo looking inside. Knocked away. Viscuso tracks it down, hurdles over a potential tackler. Andres Romero. Too high. A beautiful look right there for Andres Romero. I mean, that would have been a Sports Center top 10 kind of finish if you can convert that through traffic. Lynchburg continuing to just pelt the top keeper in the ODAC. Sky-high ball just outside the 18. Bradley gets it out of harm's way. Flips the field. Viscuso will try and get it all right back. Whistle blows is dead. It's Bradley that went down once again. And Bradley will depart. Hanscom, the sophomore forward, enters the affair. Someone else will be moved to that back line. It'll be Joshua Garcia, the midfielder. Once again, we talked just not a whole lot of depth on that Averett sideline. Moving a forward in. He'll take a midfielder role, and you move your center back to the back line. Lopez Correas. Stutter step. Creates an open lane. Uncharacteristic turnover from Velasquez. That was the first time he'd been really pressured all day. You wonder if maybe he just wasn't expecting the pressure. It was Ignacio Aron that takes it away, but Lynchburg steals it right back. Rouse has had so much daylight on this side of the field. Just really settling into that zone. Gutierrez. Fisher Daniel tried to drop it in front for Lopez Correas, just a tad off the mark. Now Blanks plays it back for a long ball to be shot downfield. Velasquez, uncontested, brings it in. Di Lorenzo, offsides. It seems like Bradley might have gotten nicked in the eye. You've got the athletic training staff having him shield one and put a light in the other. That's not something that's super comfortable to be dealing with. Yeah, we don't like to speculate, but I can tell you with 98% certainty that it's an eye issue. I mean, you can just see the difference in pressure that's being applied and how that's affecting the turnovers from each side. You have a Lynchburg team that really isn't meeting a defender until you hit right about the red line where the ball is now. Whereas this Cougar squad is facing pressure inside their own 18. And when you can't force a turnover deep in Lynchburg territory, or you can't get it out of your own defensive zone, it's going to be pretty tough to put shots on the board. And with that, even tougher to get a goal. Feels like the entirety of the opening 32 minutes have been played right here Andres Romero back to Rouse. Napier on an island. Over for Torres, off the chest. Hesitates, drives, loses possession. Matthew Viscuso with a nice defensive play. Lynchburg will give it back to Thomas Viscuso. Andres Romero to the corner. To the end line. The cross. Di Lorenzo with a poke. Couldn't get to the goal line. Back out to midfield. Nobody's home for the Cougars. And there's no sense of urgency whatsoever to apply pressure. They've got this whole Averett team just walking up the field. As we'll get a quick stoppage. Seems like Isaac Torres might have gotten a little bit shaken up. They'll bring in Eric Vasquez in his place. Another exciting freshman wearing 34. I mean, I haven't seen a guy wear 34 with that kind of speed since Herschel Walker back in 1987. Fisher Daniel called offsides. I mean, you've got all kind of talented players that have worn 34. Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, Ray Allen, just to name a few. Gutierrez. All roads closed right now. We'll send a prayer downfield. A whole host of substitutions for both sides. Lynchburg will bring on Audie Shaver. How about that? Audie Shaver back for the first time in a long time. Cristobal Massonet and Felipe Rodriguez. Moses Kashindi checks in for the Cougars alongside Nicholas Breen. Audie Shaver, a guy that was scooting around campus with a scooter to begin the soccer season, suffered a fractured heel in Lynchburg's first scrimmage of the year. And there was a lot of fear that he might be gone for the entirety of the season. Someone that was kind of expected to take a bigger role on that midfield defender, center back kind of role. Nevertheless, a great sight to see him back out and participating. I even tried to throw him a little bit of a pitch when I thought he might be sidelined for the year. I said, hey, man, we could really use an expert up in the booth, and you're certainly the guy that knows what he's talking about more so than anybody else. And told me, thank you, but no thank you. I think I'm more comfortable hanging out with my boys on the sideline. And he was a great energy piece for them on the sideline. He'd see a goal scored, and he'd start scooting up and down the sideline. And I'll tell you what, I think he might have – he's got some wheels when he's running out there on 2 feet. When he's got even more wheels under him, that guy can fly. Lynchburg still suffering a couple of injuries right now that they're trying to work through. At the beginning of the year, it was certainly much more so of an impact factor, where they went up to that Maryland trip playing Salisbury and St. Mary's. They were down 8 guys and 8 key contributors. You know, this is a Lynchburg team that is very much so into the analytics. And that goes both from a tactical standpoint and from a physical standpoint. Almost every single guy on this team is going to be rocking what I'll call a sports performance vest. Which, I mean, most recognizably, you'd think it looked kind of like a sports bra. And almost every single one of these guys wears that on their chest throughout the contest, tracks heart rate and steps and how many miles you're running and X, Y, Z, and that gives them a whole lot of insight. That's something they do both on game days and during practice. Something that Yeager and Hinkle and company are all about, and you get the combination with the strength and conditioning program here. Inside, DiLorenzo off the right foot. DiLorenzo slots it through. His second goal in 2 games. Sean DiLorenzo makes it a 4-0 affair. .37.5 minutes in. Lynchburg in clear control. Now you've got an Averett team that's huddling up and trying to respond. This is a team that's really looking for answers, and right now it is going to be an uphill battle in the Hill City. And you've lost Hudson Bradley. He was one of those key contributors. Seems like he might be having a conversation with Mom on the sideline. You do have a pretty good attendance base today for the Averett Cougars. A whole lot of gold and blue in attendance. Right now they're looking to feed off that energy. Every starter other than Will Casey and Thomas Viscuso out of the game. Nicholas Fitzgerald, Colby Wilson, and Bruno Real Silva. Some of the substitutions that just came in after that DiLorenzo goal. Lopez, fly ball towards center field. Cristobal Massonet in a tussle for it. Possession won by the Cougars. They'll play it back for Gutierrez. Nice little chip shot off the side of the foot. Now here comes Averett. It's Hanscom. Now Garcia, the cross, looking for the bicicleta. Little bicycle action on the far side of the field. Missed it all, but you got to like the hustle. You know, we've seen Chris Bovo try and whip that out a couple of times. Not once, but twice in the same game. Chris Bovo went for a bicycle. The second time around, he almost got it. This time, not as close. But you still got to like the intensity being brought by Averett. I mean, that was their best offensive sequence we've seen today. A little bit of momentum they can try and build off here late in the end of the first frame. And what that really seemed like it was patient offense. They built it from behind, reversed the field, then went to the middle and through the middle. Will Casey and Lopez Correas, check out. Luca Amato. And another coming. It was Augie Pedreras. It'll be Rodriguez with a corner kick. Just about 4.5 to go here in the first 45. Rodriguez, a lot of juice behind that one. Off the head of Viscuso, out of play. "13 shots so far for Lynchburg here in the opening half, 8 of which have been on target. This is the most goals that Averett has given up in a contest this season, aside from an exhibition match against Duke University. That was this past week. Previously, they dropped to Pfeiffer 0-3 in early September. That was just their third game of the season. Since then, they had posted 3 shutouts, a handful of games with a goal allowed, nothing more. Artie Shaver looking to go to the inside of the box, knocked away. Charging in is Wilson. Wilson, nice touch outside for Fitzgerald. Trying to go right back to him. Nobody's home. On the inside, what a save by Lopez. Wilson gets it right back. Wilson corkscrewing his way inside. Finds its way to Fitzgerald, who sends it sky high over the top beam. What a day it has been for the keeper in Lopez. He's been pelted all day long, but he's had a handful of phenomenal stops, that one included. Right now, he has just been a sitting duck. Almost double digits for goals on target in the first half. And they've all been really quality looks. Audie. A nice tackle from Audie. Not afraid to use that heel. One minute to go here in half number one. This one has been all Lynchburg. I mean, right now on pace for an 8-0 victory. I don't get the feeling that it's going to end that way. Oh, my goodness, Colby Wilson. Crafty touches, but taken away by the senior Midian, Jafuni. In the first half, 4 goals from Lynchburg, 2 of which came via Chris Wiley, Isaac Cruz, and Sean DiLorenzo also getting involved. A grand total of 15 shots from the Hornets compared to just 1 from the Cougars. 9 shots on target. It's been a tough day for Lopez between the pipes, but he had a solid 45 to kick things off. Nevertheless, we'll see what Averett has in store in the second half as the Cougars try and mount a big-time comeback in the Hill City. And we welcome you back into Schellenberger Field. It's a conference clash in the ODAC here on a beautiful Saturday in Lynchburg, Virginia. If you missed the first 45, it was all Lynchburg. The Hornets struck first. It was Isaac Cruz that found the back of the cage off his right boot. And Lynchburg kept the momentum in their direction. Chris Wiley struck once again and then added to his daily total for the second goal of the day under his name with an easy chip shot PK. Lynchburg's defense did not make life easy for the Cougars as they really struggled to get it inside the box, and the Hornets just continued to counter. It was Sean DiLorenzo that had the fourth and final goal in the first 45. Lopez had a solid first half between the pipes, but Lynchburg has just had full control of this contest. Only one shot so far through the first 45. I apologize. I'm the one that put that number in. It's a 2. It should be a 1. One shot for Averett. They have had a handful of saves that were courtesy of Lopez. But, I mean, this one has been all Lynchburg. About 95% of that opening half was played on Lynchburg's half of the field. We saw all the starters for Lynchburg hit the sideline by the end of the first half. It seems like the starters are back in the affair for the Hornets to commence the second half of action. Slowly starting to see some more fans trickle in here, turning off the midday college football slate to support their Hornets. We do have a change for the Hornets between the pipes. The only starter that has not returned here in the first half is Thomas Viscuso. Matthew Kupsidis into the affair. Matt had some action last game against the Randolph Wildcats, and he'll get most likely the entire second half unless we go even deeper into that goalkeeping rotation. Vasquez with a nice header. You know, we did see Torres get a little bit shaken up towards the end of that second half. He's still on the sideline. Vasquez has taken his spot at the wing back. And also for the Cougars, we saw Hudson Bradley get a little bit shaken up. He's still on the sideline as well. Velasquez for Vasquez. Blade to the keeper. That dishes over for Will. Sidis has got that sun just beaming right into his eyes. He's trying to shield that sun up with a hand, give himself a shadow across the eyes to get a good eye line of what's going on. That's something that almost every Hornet's going to have to be dealing with working in this direction. Lopez swings far side. They'll slowly try and inch their way forward. Last touchdown of bounds off a Cougar. Lynchburg will get it deep in Averett territory. Napier tried to play it in the corner for Rouse, just a tick behind it. Cruz with a big-time shot, a missile off the left foot. Another big save from Lopez. Lopez has had a great day. I know the scoreboard might not reflect it, but from what we've seen with him, it has been impressive. And one of those goals you feel like you have to somewhat wipe away for him, just with it being coming off a penalty. Velasquez, long heave, center of the box, batted around, jarred free, Cruz, pumps, shoots, scores! Isaac Cruz with 2 goals in 2 consecutive games. The freshman forward makes it 5-0. He's going to quickly become a fan favorite to the point where you got everybody going Cruz. An excellent display from a talented young player today. With that, let's take a peek at some of the other scores around the conference. You've got a whole host of matchups going on today. Virginia Wesleyan, Washington and Lee, the Generals up over the Marlins. That's a big one as the Generals are trying to get back on track. That game coming out of the break right now. Generals out in front. Roanoke, Bridgewater. Bridgewater actually slotted at second right now in the conference standings. They have a big-time matchup. And right as we're talking about it, Bridgewater just scored. They're up 1-0. Just scored coming out of half. And you've got Randolph-Macon, EMU, Hampton-Sydney, Guilford on deck for later tonight. That is a talented Bridgewater squad that I think might have pleasantly surprised a few people this season. And I'll tell you what, that Bridgewater squad has a really great social team. That content they've been rolling out this year, it's just different. The Eagles at 7-2-1 on a 2-game winning streak right now. Their most recent loss dropped to Mary Washington, and that's something we've been talking about a whole lot this year as Lynchburg extinguishes the best offensive sequence we've seen so far from the Cougars. That Mary Washington team, I mean, they're playing all the top dogs in the ODAC this year. So you get a pretty good sense of where everybody's at based on how they're playing Mary Washington. Granted, you can't use the transitive property too much in college sports or any sports for that matter. It's all about matchups and who's available and who's not and this, that, and the other. But nevertheless, it is a relatively strong landmark. And they don't really get to the beef of their conference play until the very end. They've got Roanoke today, then Averett, Shenandoah, Randolph-Macon, and then you finish the year with a 3-headed monster playing Valwez, Hampton-Sydney, and Washington and Lee for your final 3 games of the season. We're talking about Washington and Lee with them being up right now on Virginia Wesleyan, a team that we've talked about a fair amount through this season. Just the way they have really impressed and put themselves on the national stage. You've got 3 ODAC schools right now in the top 25, and if you told me that at the beginning of the season and then followed it up with Washington and Lee isn't one of them, I don't know if I'd believe you. Washington and Lee, a team that had the conference player of the year for back-to-back seasons. Last year made a Final Four appearance and checked into the preseason poll, number 4 in the country. But things didn't go too smooth for the Generals right out of the gates. Got off to a 0-2-3 start. Playing a really difficult series of games with squads like Emory and Mary Washington and Catholic University. They're starting to get back in the swing of things, and it really started last game tying with Hampton-Sydney. They were originally down in that game, battled back, and Hampton-Sydney's a team that's in the top 25. You've got Hampton-Sydney, Virginia Wesleyan, and Lynchburg all really grouped together. They won't be when it comes time for next week's poll. But Virginia Wesleyan was slotted at 20. You had Lynchburg at 22 and Hampton-Sydney at 23. There's going to be a whole lot of movement. I mean, there have been more upsets this week than any other week in Division III soccer. Cougars sandwiched between 2 Hornets. He's down hard. And the official will blow it dead. That is Ignacio Aron. He's able to get right back up, which is good. You've got an Averett team that is really, really thin. They've only had 2 subs today. Now, it should be a very fun year for ODAC soccer. Out in front pass, he's called off sides on the breakaway. Lopez will boot it deep. Bovo for Cruz. This is where he likes to create. Nice pass for Bovo. A fight for it at the end line. Results in a goal kick. Shepard and Massonet in for the Hornets. It'll be 6 for 5 and 13 for 32. Quick turnover, and Lynchburg now will head the other way. Bovo downfield. Nobody out in front for Cruz. It's a breakaway. Oh, a big collision. Cruz still fighting for it on the ground. Now Wiley gets involved. Cruz gets it back. Played back for Pask over the top beam. I mean, you had one-on-one, nobody out in front. Cruz was looking for the hat trick. Just could not convert in the narrow space. Goal kick here for Lopez. Near side midfield. Nobody's going for it. Beeline taken by Wiley. Plays it to the outside for Shepard. Now Lynchburg looking to go. Pass stops on a dime. Feeds a cutting Shepard. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Kicked down a play, and Lynchburg will be awarded with another corner kick. It's their fourth corner today. They haven't been able to turn anything into a goal quite yet. But they found their offense in a variety of different ways thus far. Cruz will take it from the far sideline. And the lefty unloads. Middle of the box, popped up by Lopez. Bovo with a header to play it over for Casey. Cross kicked away, and now it'll be a throw-in for the Hornets as a host of substitutions check in. DiLorenzo, Daniel, and Real Silva. 24 for 16, 14 for 18. Another corner for the Hornets. It'll be DiLorenzo this time around. DiLorenzo already with one goal today. One of 4 different goal scorers for the Hornets. It's been an offensive eruption for Lynchburg. Their second highest scoring total this season. And it just continues to add to what they've done here at home. They came into this game outscoring their opponents 13-0 on their home turf through 3 games. And already up to 18-0 now. Team that ranks top 25 in the nation for scoring offense, defense, and differential. This looks like a team that is poised and ready to march right back to the ODAC championship after a season ago falling by 1 goal on their home turf to Washington and Lee. And a defense that came back saying, you know, we just don't want to win every game. We want to win every game with a clean sheet. And we feel pretty confident in our ability to do so. And they've only had 1 game this season where they've allowed an opponent to score more than 1 goal. This is on pace to be their 6th shutout of the season after recording double-digit shutouts a season ago. Inside, Viscuso, quick trigger, and another great save from Lopez. He has been absolutely pelted today, and he's held his own between the pipes. He's showing why he's the guy that leads the conference in save percentage and saves per match. 3 more substitutions for Lynchburg. Audie Shaver takes the spot of Will Casey. Rodriguez takes Napier, and Lopez Correas in for Rouse. Shepard will have the toss. Still waiting for the okay from our officiating crew. It seems like they're going to want to reset the game clock. It'll go to 29:40, so we'll add 13 seconds on. And the Baker's dozen makes it 29:40. The throw in, far side, Real Silva tracks it down, keeps it alive. Played out for Rodriguez. Good contest by the Cougars, but Shaver and company collect it with relative ease. Now the freshman Vasquez surveys. He'll redirect for Shaver. And right back to the middle for Massonet. Now he wants to take a shot for Jackson Shepard. Patient offense from Lynchburg is what we saw all throughout the first 45. No real pressure being applied by the Cougars. They have plenty of time to survey and wait for the right moment to strike. And that worked pretty well for them with 4 goals in the first half. Shepard, low, slow roller into the breadbasket of Lopez. Collected for his 8th save today. I mean, this is a Lynchburg team that averages just under 19 shots a game. They're already up to 22 and counting. Di Lorenzo trying to go far side post. Couldn't put it on the mark. Just a tick outside. And a substitution now for the Cougars as Nicholas Breen will come into the contest in place of Hanscom. Augie back in for Lynchburg as well. He'll take Viscuso's spot. Fisher Daniel tabbed with a foul. Swung around the horn, redirected to the far side of the field. Shallow pop-up. Real Silva, crafty footwork. Massonet at midfield. I mean, Lynchburg just with all day to work it around. Beautiful slide tackle right there. It's Ignacio Aron that puts it out of play. Shepard with the toss. Looks to the corner for Daniel. Fish plays it right back to him. Now Shepard wants to give it a go. Far side looking for the header. Bicycle kick. It's through. Sean Di Lorenzo. His 3rd goal in 2 games, his 2nd today, and it comes off a bicycle. Not much else you could say right there. In a game filled with highlights and 6 goals. That one takes the cake. And with 6 goals, Lynchburg has had 3 different goal scorers. All with a pair. What a performance it has been today from Coach Yeager and company. This squad just came to play. I mean, there's no other way around it. And they came out quite patient as well. This is a team that was not really pushing tempo. They had possession for seemingly the entirety of the first 15 minutes. But it wasn't until that last part of those opening 15 minutes where they notched their first goal of the day. And it was just with 2 shots. They were patiently waiting to strike. And ever since then, the floodgates have been open. And now with under 25 minutes to go, Cougars looking to just scratch something across the board and walk away with an ounce of momentum as you head into your next slate of conference games, starting with Roanoke next Wednesday. Lynchburg with a chance to run. DiLorenzo near side. Cuts it back, and Lynchburg will build it from behind. Shepard back up for DiLorenzo. Lynchburg has looked for the reversals to their wing backs a whole lot today. They'll play one right there to Massonet. He'll gallop forward, uncontested. Down the sideline for Shaver. Now through the middle with Daniel. Beautiful through ball. DiLorenzo couldn't get there in time. And Lopez scoops it off the turf. Stripped away by Daniel. Rodriguez controls. Pressure coming. And a penalty given to Fisher Daniel. With that, let's take a look at the conference standings, or at least where they sit right now. We've showed you the other games we've got going across. W&L still leading 1-0 over Virginia Wesleyan. Right now, that Bridgewater game does carry pretty high weight with them being 2-0 in conference, but we showed you their schedule. They won't play Washington and Lee, Virginia Wesleyan, or really any of what would you consider that upper echelon of the ODAC until their final 3 games of the season. Virginia Wesleyan all the way down there just with one conference game being played, but that is a team that you need to be looking out for. Virginia Wesleyan, they'll shoot up in the polls this week after a critical victory over Christopher Newport. They're riding a 4-game win streak. The Hornets on a 6-game win streak. That's the longest in the conference right now. Oh, what a save, but it's followed through. DiLorenzo with a hat trick. Sean DiLorenzo with his first hat trick of the season. That's Lynchburg's 3rd player with a hat trick on their home field this season. 7 goals and 3 different goal scorers. That's not something you're going to hear every contest. DiLorenzo having himself a day. He's got the signature ice tray celebration that he brings out. And for a guy that's got an ice-cold celebration, he's been scorching red hot all day long. Crafty footwork. Shaver unwinds a big shot. That's ricocheted off a Cougar defender. Lynchburg keeping their foot on the gas. Pressure still being applied by this front line, putting them in a straitjacket. Freshman Eric Vasquez with a nice touch plays it back to the 60-year goalkeeper. Matt actually got the chance to play against his former squad earlier this season. 6-year keeper played his first 4 seasons at St. Mary's, Maryland. He had the transfer over here last season to add to the depth chart here with the Hornets. He's been a big-time locker room guy. Someone that's really known for bringing a positive mindset and a smile every day. And he got the chance to face some old teammates and walk out of Maryland with a 3-2 victory. And hopefully some blue crab as well while he was up there. Rodriguez at midfield on an island. Nicholas Fitzgerald cuts it back, slots it through. Fitzgerald with his first goal this season makes it an 8-0 affair. Stops on a dime, and the shot was more than fine. Fitzgerald, a guy that battled back through some injuries this season, played his first game back in the red and white in the most previous contest against Randolph. A sophomore out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. That's just his second collegiate goal on his 4th shot as a Lynchburg Hornet. Well, this one's starting to feel like it's out of reach. Fitzgerald can't track it down in time. Well, if you're Coach Yeager and this Lynchburg staff, you got to feel pretty good about where you sit right now. This is a Lynchburg team that is really riding a hot streak. And they're looking to claim their 7th straight victory this season. Yeager, a guy that has experienced a whole lot of success during his Lynchburg tenure with 9 conference championships. This season, a great opportunity to get that category in double digits. The Hornets really seeming like a great contender in the ODAC this year. I'll most likely walk out of this affair 8-0-2. with their final non-conference contest of the season on deck as they'll play Messiah on Wednesday. And then that sets the stage for what should really be an exciting matchup at home against Virginia Wesleyan. And currently sits at 7-1-1 on the year. That's a really, really talented Marlin squad that, we just can't talk enough about, because it is going to be so great to see how this conference shakes out this season. And it just feels like a round table with W&L, Hampton, Sydney, Valwez, and Lynchburg right now. It's a dealer's choice on pick your poison. Who do you want to play? And right now it feels like those are the four squads that are heavily favored to be in the conference semifinals. But it's still early. Anything can happen. You can have a Randolph-Macon or a Roanoke fight for a seat at the table and play upset and really make a deep run. This is a very, very talented conference that's only getting more talented by the season. Obviously, when you have a team represented in the national championship or in the Final Four on a year-in, year-out basis, it's going to bring some attention to the conference as a whole. Quick turnover. Oh, what a move. Fitzgerald goes 5-hole. I don't know if he meant to, but it looked pretty. As we take a look at what Averett's got coming up after this contest, we mentioned that Roanoke is the next one on deck. They'll play that guy on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in Danville. Then you've got a 2-game road stand where you play at Bridgewater, followed by Guilford, as the Hornets are called offsides. Colby Wilson got a little eager. Then you come back for homecoming on October 18th against Randolph. That should be a great matchup between two squads. Nevertheless, everybody's just gearing up for November 1st when conference play gets started in the tournament. By this time next month, we'll be headed to the ODAC semifinal. Feels like just yesterday we were breaking in the pitch for the 2025 campaign. You look at how this Lynchburg team has developed over the course of the season thus far. They have certainly found their bearings as the years moved along. Right now, outscoring opponents 21-0 on their home turf. Granted, a big part of that comes from going 17-0 in 2 of those 4 contests. And we are going to see another goal change. Stefan Kapitanov checks in alongside Fisher Daniel. Kapitanov, a sophomore goalkeeper out of Midlothian, Virginia. Also a middle blocker for the Lynchburg men's volleyball team. He's not the guy you want to try and squeeze it on the top shelf in when he's in the goal. He's got some hops. Just about a baker's dozen remaining. Massonet, middle of the field, swings near side. Vasquez, back over for Shep. Through the inside, quick touch over for Rodriguez. Got caught by the turf monster, then tangled up. Seemed like the Cougars wanted a call they did not get. The entry pass scooped up. Again, Isaac Cruz getting tended to on the sideline now. Might just be a little bit of turf burn. Nevertheless, that's something we'll keep an eye on. His day is, for the most part, probably done. Vasquez fights through some contact, plays it up for Wilson. He'll get it right back down low. And Lynchburg will work it around. Played up for Augie. Runs through two. Maintains possession. This time takes a big whack and hits the deck hard. We will check in on those scores. We've had an eye on W&L up 2-0 on the Marlins. That's one that really has big-time implications, as that Washington Elite General squad just looks to inch their way back to their standard. Bridgewater up 2-0 in the 89th minute. They'll seize the victory over the Roanoke Maroons, with their goals coming in the second half. 9 minutes to go in the W&L Valdez matchup. And they just really sealed that with a goal in the 79th minute. Good passing from the Cougars. Just not a whole lot of movement. There you see it. Played through the legs of his own teammate. It's the best sequence we've seen in the second half. Oh. Just the second shot today from the Cougars, and it was a brilliant clearance down the field. That led to a header from Nicholas Breen. And how do you not leave that guy marked? I mean, he's got so much hair on that head. Oh, you miss it. He's got some locks. Luscious locks. Lettuce, as the kids like to call it. Massonet over for Shepard. I mean, this is an Averett squad that came in with a really talented defense, holding opponents to under a goal a contest. They had only given up 7 goals all season. And Lynchburg welcomes them in with open arms and says, here's 8 more. Meanwhile, for the Hornets, it's the second game where they've scored 8 or more goals. Another in a 9-0 victory against Regent back in mid-September. They've now gone 4 straight games with multiple goals. And 6 of their last 7 have had multiple goals. I mean, when you can score 2 or more in 6 of 7, that's going to be tough to beat, especially when you got a Lynchburg squad where you feel like if you just get 1, that's enough to win more times than not. This will be their 6th shutout through 10 games. I mean, when you're producing clean sheets 60% of the time, you got to feel pretty good about where you sit. And once again, only 1 game this year where they gave up more than 1 goal, and in that contest, it was a 3-2 victory for the Hornets. This team just cruising right now through their schedule. A 7-game win streak really stands out and still unbeaten through 10 games. Two more substitutions now coming in for the Averett Cougars. Leslie comes back in place of Garcia. And Quintanilla comes in for Blanks. Let me try that one more time. I apologize. Quintanilla comes in for Blanks. Under 6 minutes to go. Lynchburg looking to just walk out of here with another shutout. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of these 4 p.m. start times. I like the 7 o'clock, don't get me wrong. It could be fun under the lights. There's something just about a little midday matinee. Laid back. You got good fan attendance. Great weather. I will say that the one thing that I think myself up here on the south side of the field, I'm not a human compass, but on this side of the field where your cameras are coming from, not a big fan of the sunlight coming through. I've had a paper up to my forehead almost all day long trying to shield that sun. And I think the keepers, whether it was Viscuso or Kapitanov, Kupsidis, or even Lopez, I think we've all had a little bit of issue with that sun in our eyes today. Long bomb, Audie, low roller to Augie. Numero 9. Number 7 gets goal number 9. Augustin Paredes, his first goal this season. 4 minutes to go. We'll see if Lynchburg looks for double digits. I feel like they just milk this clock and walk out with a 3 field goal victory. Maybe you get a touchdown and safety. Talking about football here. Far side for Shepard. Oftentimes, it can be difficult to decipher what the greatest strength of a team was in a 9-0 victory. But it feels pretty evident that the offense stood out. Obviously, this defense is used to racking up clean sheets, and against an Averett offense that ranked 383rd in the nation for scoring offense, you kind of had a feeling that Lynchburg was heading that direction. But with that being said, I don't think anybody came into this affair thinking that there would be 9 goals scored on either over-under you want to look at it. This felt like it was going to be a 1-0, 2-0 kind of ball game where it's just a defensive battle through and through. Each team holding their opponents to under a goal this season. Lynchburg at 0.56, Averett at 0.88. Nevertheless, that was not the case. And it was a slew of Sean DiLorenzo goals and Isaac Cruz and Chris Wiley. Sean DiLorenzo notched a hat trick with 3. His first career hat trick. Redis and Fitzgerald each notched 1, and Wiley and Cruz both got a pair. And how about Cruz's? 4 goals in 2 games. And Lynchburg captures a 9-0 victory. That'll do it from us here in Schellenberger Field. We appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. Hornets back in action on Wednesday as they go to a neutral site competition. We'll have the broadcast there. Thank you so much, and until next time, thank you, and stay cool.